Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. As you can see, it is a great weekend. This was a great week to be a Bengals fan. We got the number one pick. We didn't blow it. I got my, the half Ryan Fitzpatrick, half Deshaun Jackson. I don't really have chest hair like that. Bengals, I'm sipping out of my Bengals cup. Let's just hope Joe Burrow isn't Achilles Smith, a white version. That's all I'm hoping for. I tell you, I watched the first round, and I'm disclaimer ahead of time. This is going to be an NFL-heavy podcast. We're going to make it so the women that watch this will understand, but we're pulling back the door a little bit with my guest this week. But I'm watching the draft, and here's my two favorite moments of the first round from Thursday night. One, CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. He's on the phone with the Cowboys. I'm assuming it's his girlfriend sitting next to him. The girlfriend looks down, grabs the other phone, and tries to look at the text message, and CeeDee flawlessly went, "Not today," and took the phone from his girlfriend. I'm assuming it's his girlfriend. I just want to know what was on the text. Was it another girl saying, "Congratulations, baby," Dallas Cowboys? And, okay, watch. All you got to do, go to YouTube, Google CeeDee Lamb draft pick. It's going to be on there. And then notice how CeeDee grabs the phone from the girl. Bigger thing that a lot of people miss. Look at how CeeDee's mother gave the girl the side eye. The mother literally looked at her like, "You better play your position if you want to be coming to Dallas." I don't know what was. I saw something on Twitter or something, and they said that's an iPhone, not a Wii phone. That one was good. And Isaiah Wilson got drafted, and watch how he gets drafted. He's an offensive lineman. Later, I think he's the 29th pick, and this white girl, it could have been his girlfriend. I don't know who she was. She smothers him like in the hug, so you don't even see him. And then literally his mom gets behind her and lifts her up and moves her out of the picture. What's funny was the girlfriend was fighting it. She's like, nah. She was sitting there like this, and the mom was like, no, this is my son's day, and moved her out. And you can see the mom's like hand doing this, like scolding her, like get out of the way. So look up CeeDee Lamb and Isaiah Wilson was my two favorite draft moments outside of Joe Burrow getting picked by the Cincinnati Bengals. Because this is what I took out of Joe Burrow getting picked. I'm always one, especially a quarterback. You want your quarterback to be the quote unquote, the nerd in the room. He should be the smartest guy in the room. Joe Burrow had his mom and dad, and that's it. Nobody else. He didn't have a big entourage. He didn't have the crew over. He didn't have his boys. He had his mom and dad and Joe Burrow. And I go, we might have made the right pick, because it always worries me when there's 40 people in the room. If it's a quarterback, a running back, wide receiver, anybody on defense, I don't care about that. But a quarterback, I don't want him to have a big entourage. I want him to be like Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. I want him pulling up in a minivan or a Chevy Cavalier. I don't want him buying a Bentley or any kind of $100,000 car as soon as he gets drafted. Now, running back, wide receivers, I don't care. But my quarterback, I almost want him to be a geek. So the fact that Joe Burrow just had his mom and dad, I was like, all right, social distancing, he's doing it, blah, 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 he's good. And the crazy, okay, right before the draft, something kind of crazy happened to me too, was my agent called, and they're opening up Texas and Georgia, amongst some other states. They're slowly opening them up. And so my agent asked me, am I ready to go back to work in May? Like late May, did I want to go in Texas or Georgia? And as much as I do want to go back to work, I said, man, I got to pass. I'm not ready yet. I can't do that. I said, I'll call me like mid-June. I don't want to be the first comedian back in the comedy clubs and then getting protested, and I just think it's not a good look to be the first ones back. Plus, when comedy clubs open up, they should just be open up with locals. Because it's one thing to be going to a comedy club, drawing a crowd. It's a whole nother thing to get on a plane and fly there and then fly back. And then, I don't know, do I got to quarantine for 14 days when I get back to the house? I don't know. So I completely passed on all. So basically, I'm going to stay unemployed until mid-June is what I told my my agent. But it's funny because your agents, they'll sit there and be like, you sure? And I guess how the comedy clubs are going to work now is they're going to have to space the tables out. So if a club holds let's say a club holds 500 people, be lucky to get 250 people in there. And then I talked to a friend of mine who runs, he's the entertainment director of a lot of the Caesars casinos. And he said how they're going to do it, at least in Mississippi, is if you play blackjack and you have 2 blackjack tables and there's 5 seats at every blackjack table, it's going to be every other table and every other chair. So basically, if there's 2 blackjack tables next to each other normally, so there could be 10 people playing blackjack, there's 3. Because one table's, you're not doing it, and then the other table's gonna have every other chair, so 3. So I don't know. You really gotta be an addicted gambler because you're gonna probably have to wear a mask and gloves. I don't think there's a dirtier place than a casino than to practice social distancing. I mean, I don't think there's a dirtier place. I saw the interview where the mayor of Vegas was trying to open up, and I was like, whoa, I don't know how much she had to drink, but she's not all there. So listen, I have 2 teenage kids. I got a boy and a girl. Now, my daughter, she's met a lot of actors, actresses, athletes, not impressed. Now she's at an age where anytime she listens to a song or I hear something, she will ask me, do I know this rapper? Do I know this rapper? And normally it's rappers in their early 20s, mid-20s. I don't understand half the rappers these days, especially the mumble rap. I can't get it. I can't tell you one Future lyric to save my life. Not saying I don't enjoy it. I just don't know what they're saying. So I really want to stay up to date with what my daughter's listening to. So I think every week I'm just going to pull a random rap song, a popular one, and I'm going to read the lyrics, not the hook. Everybody knows the hook. I'm going to go for what they're really saying in between the hooks. And you know what? I'm just going to read it, and I'm just trying to figure out what was the goal of this verse. So I think one of the biggest songs right now is Tootsie Roll by Drake. Now, not Tootsie. There's no 2 T's in it. It's just 1 T. Tootsie. Toosie. Tootsie Roll. I don't know if there's no T in Canada. I don't know. But we all know the lyric, left foot slide, right foot. We get it. We got it. So, I even saw I think I saw the NFL commissioner doing it at the draft. I think I saw that the other night. So, okay, I'm just going to read the lyrics here. Don't you want to dance with me? No. I could dance like Michael Jackson. I could give you thug passion. It's a thriller and the trap. Where we from? Baby, don't you want to dance with me? No. I could dance like Michael Jackson. I could give you satisfaction. And you know we out here every day with it. I'm going to show you how to get it. What? I have no idea what the fuck was the goal? You don't, is this song trying to get a girl or a teenage boy? That's what I'm trying to figure out with the Michael Jackson hook. Because it sounds like you're trying to entice somebody to come over. So we all know Michael Jackson. I mean, you could have easily flipped Michael Jackson and put Prince. Now, okay, we put Prince in that. Look, listen to this. Don't you want to dance with me? No. I could dance like Prince. I could give you thug passion. Even though it don't rhyme, it don't really matter. Still sounds better. I could dance like Prince. Prince could dance. I could give you passion. It's a thriller. No. It's a purple rain in the trap. Where we from? Baby, don't you want to dance with me? No. I could dance like Prince. I could give you satisfaction. You're still kind of rhyming. You gotta Substitute Michael Jackson with Prince. Or even, you know what? Why don't you put Janet Jackson? Boom. Okay, now listen. Don't you want to dance with me? No. I could dance like Janet Jackson. I could give you thug passion. It's the Thriller and the Trap. That's her brother. Still makes sense. Where we from? Baby, don't you want to dance with me? No. I could dance like Janet Jackson. I could give you satisfaction. And you know we out here every day with it. I'm going to show you how to get it. One word changes that whole song. Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson. I'm just saying, it sounds wrong when you say you're trying to bring somebody over like Michael Jackson. Because whatever you think about Michael Jackson, you never thought of him as a ladies' man, so to speak. So I don't know what Drake's goal was with that song, Tootsie Slide. Next week, I'm going to do a Future song. Since I don't know any of his lyrics, I'm going to go with Future next week. And I still don't know what a Tootsie is. I'm going to have to look that up. I know I originally thought it was a Tootsie Slide. And then somebody had to tell my daughter had to correct me. She goes, nah, Dad, it's Tootsie. I said, yeah, that's what I said. I said Tootsie. She goes, no, Tootsie. I said, that's what I said, Tootsie. Tootsie. I don't know what a Tootsie is. What? Somebody help me out. When this airs in the comment section, somebody tell me what a Tootsie is. I don't know. Let me tell you my first time I heard of Drake. Speaking of Drake, was I was shooting Little Man up in Canada. We was in Vancouver, and I used to watch Degrassi Junior High long time ago. It was on PBS. A lot of people don't know. It was on public broadcasting system, and I could never figure out when I used to watch Degrassi Junior High and it was in Canada. I couldn't figure out, like, the kids, they look American, they sound American, but something's not right. Like, just little things they did, a little accent or a twang in their voice. I go, I know it's not the United States, but I know it's not Europe. And it took me forever to figure out Degrassi was a Canadian, basically, like, version of 90210 before 90210. And I knew the whole song, come on, give us a try at Degrassi Junior High. So then I used to watch that when I was younger. Then I get Little Man up in Vancouver. And then Degrassi's just on. Now it's like Degrassi. It's like high school. I think they dropped the high school. It's just Degrassi. And Drake was in a wheelchair. And he was like this kid in a wheelchair just running around on the show. And then literally, it's one of those things. Then I saw like a music video and he was in it, one of his first songs. And I kept looking again like, why do I know that dude? I know that. I thought he was like a comedian, or I ran into him in LA somewhere. And then it just, before anybody even told me, it just clicked. I go, oh, snap. That's the dude from Degrassi in the wheelchair. And my dumb ass, I really thought he was paralyzed. When I used to watch that show, I thought they casted that's the thing. Think about Drake getting casted in Degrassi, and I know there was kids in wheelchairs all over Canada going, ain't that a bitch? They give us one role with a kid in a wheelchair and they hire somebody that's not even paralyzed. I guarantee you there were some kids in wheelchairs that auditioned for that part like, really? You hired somebody that can walk? Are you shitting me right now? Now listen, I'm going to get back to football because my guest is going to come on in a few minutes. But I don't want to forget, just because the Cincinnati Bengals drafted Joe Burrow, I don't want to see a bunch of people out here bashing Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, he did his thing. There was more good moments than bad moments with Andy Dalton. I'll put it that way. And I'll tell you, my favorite game of Andy Dalton's was in 2015. The Bengals are playing the Seattle Seahawks. I was in Houston, Texas. I'm at some sports bar watching the game. And the Bengals are losing. They're getting their ass kicked most of the game. And right before kickoff, Ken Griffey Jr. texted me and said, you want to bet dinner on the game. Now, keep in mind, everybody thought the Seahawks was winning that game. Everybody thought the Seahawks was winning that game. And then, so I think Ken thought he had an easy dinner. And then the Seahawks got the big lead. And then all of a sudden, the Bengals start coming back. and then they end up winning the game. They scored like 20-some points in the fourth quarter. And I remember I bought shots for everybody in the bar. It cost me about $700 that game. And Ken still hasn't got me that dinner yet. He still hasn't taken me out to eat from that game 5 years ago. I didn't forget about that. But just the fact that it was the Seahawks, they were coming off, not the win, but they were coming off losing to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And that 2015 year, that was our year. That was our year if Andy don't get hurt. I swear to God. That and the 2005 Bengals and the 2015 Bengals. Now, the 2005 Bengals, let me tell you a funny story about that team. They go to the playoffs. They play the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round. And I'm in Kansas City. I'm in my hotel room. And Carson Palmer throws this lob to Chris Henry. Now, Chris Henry catches the ball, and I'm going, yes! And then I see Carson down on the field, and I went, fuck! I started throwing like pillows and screaming at the TV, right? I'm cussing out Kimo von Oelhoffen, the guy that hurt Carson and everything. The cops came to my hotel room with hotel security because they thought I was beating a woman in my room. Like literally, I get a knock on the door. I'm screaming, because I'm yelling, you fucking bitch, God damn it, shit. I get a knock on my hotel door, and the cops are like, where's the girl? Where's the girl? I go, excuse me? And they's like, where's the girl? I said, what are you talking about? They go, somebody on my floor reported they heard a woman scream and a man yell, you fucking bitch. And they said there was shit thrown around. I was like, no, I'm watching the game. So the cops came and searched my room with hotel security when they realized it was just me and I was watching the Bengals-Steelers game. That's when they realized, oh, snap. And then everybody just started laughing in the room. I said, I'm sorry, guys, I'm a little passionate. And so with that leads me to my guest this week. This one's personal. It goes way back with this guy. I thought my name was easy, Gary Owen, but people always want to put an S on my name, and it bothers me. I can't imagine what this guy's gone through in his life. I guarantee you he struggled. I would love to see video of his kindergarten and first grade teacher trying to pronounce his name the first day of school when you go down the roll call list. But this week's guest, old friend of mine, I think I met him in 2003 or 4, from the middle of nowhere in California up to Oregon State, came down to Cincinnati, spent like 2 weeks in Seattle playing for the Seahawks, ended up with Baltimore, and now he's a Fox Sports analyst, and he's also training all these incoming NFL prospects. My homeboy TJ Houshmandzadeh is this week's guest on the Get Some podcast. What's up, TJ?
Gary, man, what's going on, brother?
So, obviously, I'm excited.
Yeah, of course. I already knew that.
Bengals got the first pick. And I texted you before the Bengals picked Burrow. And I said, dude, what are you hearing? Is he the real deal? What's the deal? Because you worked out with him, right?
Yeah, he came out here and trained. He was training with Jordan Palmer and the receivers that I was working with. So we would throw almost every day, 3-4 days a week. But I was working out with him in the weight room. Like after they would get done with the field, I would just go in the weight room, and those young kids, they got me back to working out, and Joe was one of them.
And so now they got him. Was it a good pick?
Oh yeah, and you know me, I'm gonna keep it 100. The first week or so with Joe, it was like, oh, I don't know if I'm drafting him number 1.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I mean, and he hadn't thrown a ball in, I believe he said it was like 3 weeks. He messed his rib up in the national championship game. But then after that, he was money. When I tell you, this is how you know a quarterback is good. We're out there with Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Kyle Allen. They were turning around like, God, this dude is so accurate. And that's, to me, what stuck out was he didn't throw any ball that was here. Everything was right here. And the last week before the coronavirus, it was raining every day, and we were out in the rain, and he was still throwing everything on the money. I had John Ross come out there. Ross was catching the ball from him. I'm like, Joe, please overthrow him. He couldn't. Ross couldn't outrun his arm. And anybody know Ross, when he started running, if he want to outrun your arm, it's over. He couldn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, man, you got me excited now.
Nah, Joe can play, man. It's his mentality, though, man. Like, his mentality, some people might say it's cocky, but the dude has that belief in himself, man. It's like, you seen the interview the other day when he was like, oh, yeah, I can score 12 to 15 points in the NBA. And he wasn't joking. He was dead serious. Like, he just really believes in himself. So, I'm with you, man. The Bengals, I said it before all of this. I believe it was at the Super Bowl and prior to that. If Carson couldn't turn it around, I didn't think anyone could. But I think I'm going to have to eat those words, man. I truly believe Joe's going to turn that thing around. I mean, you got to start somewhere. You go back in time. It was before I was born. Before the Steelers got Terry Bradshaw, they were trash. They were trash.
Yeah.
They hadn't had won a playoff game in 30 years. And then Terry Bradshaw comes, they win 4 Super Bowls. And so it has to start somewhere.
But look, I always there's no position other than quarterback that can literally change the way perception of the way people think of a team. A la, you said Terry Bradshaw. I was thinking Peyton Manning before he got to the Colts. Colts were terrible every year. That was the laughing stock. Then he got there, and somewhat Drew Brees in New Orleans. New Orleans was always terrible. Then he got there. Now nobody wants to play him. So, you never can tell. I'm cautiously optimistic because I've had my heart broken so many times by the Bengals. Now, I will say, this is how far me and TJ go back. He messed my son up like an NFL football because when TJ played for the Bengals, him and I believe Deltha O'Neal, right?
Yeah.
You guys split a suite. You went 50-50 on a suite where your families could sit. And you'd always, if I called and I was in town, you'd always let me 2 tickets to come to the game and let me sit in the suite. And I remember one time I called you and I just wanted to say hi because I go, dude, I feel like every time I call you, I'm asking for tickets. I said, so I'm just calling to say hello. So you don't think that's the only reason I call.
Man, when you split the tickets, if I'm not mistaken, back then, it was 20 tickets per suite. I got 10, Delta got 10. At the time, I have a wife, a daughter. I'm like, what am I going to do with 7 other tickets? I paid for them. And so, shit, you could have called me every Saturday. Hey, I need 2 tickets. I'm not one of them, man, Gary only call me when he wants something. How many you need, bro? You good. Yeah, there wasn't no thing.
Well, I get it a lot. I get people that don't call me at all until I come to town. Then they want tickets. I'm like, dude, you've never checked up on my well-being one time. You have never just said, hey, how you doing? It's just, hey, man, can I get some tickets?
But you know what's funny about that is, I don't know if it was you. It probably was you. I was watching a comedy show, right? And that's why the last time I called you, I didn't want you to give me tickets. I remember it was you or the comedian. I don't know who it was, but I think it was you. It was like, hey, all you motherfuckers calling me, asking me for tickets. I hope you guys know us comics. We get paid from ticket sales. And so don't call me asking me for tickets. So if that was you or another comic, whoever it was, I was like, oh, yeah, next time I call Gary, I'm going to just let him know. I'll buy my tickets.
Yeah. No, but it's honestly, it's a way now that I'm able to pay you back. Because you being a fan of comedy and me being such a football fan, I mean, you left me tickets for 2-3 seasons anytime I wanted to go. And so now I was like, dude, I told Kenny, I go, TJ ain't never going to buy a ticket. All them games I went to, especially the 2005 season.
So now your son is spoiled. He don't want to sit in the stands. If it's not a suite, he ain't going.
Oh, let me tell you where you messed him up. So 2005, we always sat in the suite, right? So one game, and I didn't know you only had 3 tickets, or I would have asked. One game, I needed like 6 tickets. So I was like, I'm not calling TJ for 6 tickets. So you guys are playing the Cardinals, and Edgerrin James was on the Cardinals. So I called Edge, because I knew Edge, he's so hood, he didn't give a shit. He was like, so I said, hey, Edge, hey, because he's already asked me for numerous comedy show tickets. He said, yeah, G, I got you. This is what I didn't know. I didn't know the road team's tickets were so far up in the corner. So I take my son, I got both my boys, both my sons, and then my cousin, and I had friends in town. So we just kept going higher and higher in the stadium. And my son, literally, when we sat down, he goes, "Hey, when are we going inside?" I go, "Oh no, we're not going inside this game. We didn't get the suite." No, he was young. So my son was 6 or 7 at the time. He went, he starts steaming. He goes, "I'm rooting for the Cardinals." He just looked over at me like that was gonna get me.
Man, when you play on the road, they give you the nosebleeds, and the crazy thing about it is, it's the same price as the regular tickets. That's what people, let me get tickets when you're on the road. You be like, you're going to be up top. So you might want to go another route with this one, bro. Like,
yeah, I never asked for road tickets.
Same price. Hey, what's wrong with your boy, the comedian you had on, Lil Rel? I can't believe he said what he said about Brady. What?
Oh, last week when he said Tom Brady's overrated?
What? Oh, no, my God. I think
TJ,
Get Out might have affected him long term.
Yo, he really believes that.
Wow. No, I couldn't believe he said the system made him. Man, Tom Brady is the system.
Exactly.
Wow, I couldn't believe he said that. And he said it with a straight face, but you know how you comedians are. I didn't know if he was serious or not.
Nah, he was dead serious because he said it on First Take. He went on ESPN First Take and said it to Stephen A. Smith, and then he came on the podcast last week, and I forgot he said that. So it took me back, and I went, "Are you serious? You don't win." What's he got? 5 rings? He got 5 rings, right?
6.
He got 6 rings, and been to 2 more.
He's gonna eat those words, man. He's gonna eat those words this year. But I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Tampa. I'm just waiting. Look, Gronk already came out of retirement. I'm waiting for Luke Kuechly to come out next. He can get all these guys that didn't think they had anything left. I probably got one more year in me.
Luke Kuechly, man, when he had that last concussion and he started crying, that scared me, man. I'm like, man, he knew right away. He lit like you don't see a grown man on the football field just cry. He got that concussion and he started crying. I'm like, oh, something wrong with him. He not the biggest dude either. I mean, he's barely bigger than me, but Luke Kuechly, he done. Please, he got to be done. You only get one head.
I think he's such a intellectual dude. I'm sure he's reading up on all the CTEs and everything else. So he's probably like, oh my God, I'm on my way, and I'm 26 years old. That's probably what he was going through his brain.
He is Cincinnati boy, huh?
Yep, St. X. I know all the Cincinnati people. Now, what was your? Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. You didn't have a high school diploma, did you?
Nah, I ain't graduated from high school. No, not at all.
So how do you not graduate high school and then end up in the NFL?
Man, Gary, my story, man, is it's kind of crazy, man. Like people that I grew up with, and then I'm pretty much the dudes I chill with are guys that I grew up with. I mean, from the time we were 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. But anyway.
And where were you living?
I was in Barstow. My mom lived in LA. My grandmother lived in Barstow. And so it was a lot of back and forth. Mama was on crack. She was alcoholic. And so mainly with my grandmother majority of the time. Moved to Texas for a brief period. Moved to Oklahoma City for a brief period. And in between those moves, just like if your mama a crackhead and she alcoholic, I wasn't going to school. I was probably 13 when I really got in the streets myself and started doing things I shouldn't have been doing. And when I came back to California, this is when we were in Texas, I came back to California, same thing. It was like, I ain't going to school. And so my senior year, I missed my whole sophomore year, didn't go. My senior year, I was a senior, but I was a junior academically. So football season was over with. I just said, F it. And that was the first year I played football in my life, was my senior year in high school.
Never at all?
No, never played. I played Pop Warner, but I never had a right to practice, so I didn't play. I was on the team, but I didn't play 1 year. Played my senior year in high school. Obviously, I didn't graduate. And my best friend, who, like I told you, my friends, we've been cool since childhood, he was highly recruited. And so he didn't have the grades to go D1, so he went JUCO. He came down and went to Cerritos College. And I'm like, shit, we together every day. I'm coming with you. What else? What I'm gonna do here? I'm coming with you. We together every day. And so I tagged along. I was a running back in high school. So my partner broke his foot. His backup was a cat from Compton. He got arrested, and I was third string. So first game of the season, I start because my partner broke his foot. His backup got arrested. First play of the game, I bombed somebody for like 70, touchdown. Coach was just like, "Oh, we got something," and just the rest is history. Took off from there.
So you just basically, you didn't graduate high school. You just basically rode with your homeboy down to Cerritos College, which is right outside of LA. And then when you got down there, did they make you get a GED?
Nah, so this is the thing, man. People don't realize that. I don't know how it is now. To get into junior college, you don't need a diploma or a GED. I took the assessment test to get into Cerritos College. So once you take that test, if you score high enough, you're admitted into college. And I would like to think that I'm a smart human being. I just didn't apply myself early on in life. And so I scored high enough midway in my second year, right before my second year started at Cerritos College this summer. The head coach came to me and was like, "You should get your GED. I think you're going to have a really good chance of going to college, and it will look better." And so I went and took the test, passed it easy, and got my GED going into my second year at Cerritos College.
And then Oregon State sees you at Cerritos.
Yeah, coming out of Cerritos at JUCO, I was like the #1 junior college player in the country. Obviously, it's so many different lists, but on certain lists, I was #1. Other lists, I was 3 or 4. But yeah, I was just really in JUCO. Every ball I caught, it was almost like a touchdown. It was like I was like the Reggie Bush or the Peter Warrick at junior college, man. Yeah.
Did you get recruited by other schools? Like,
oh yeah,
I know you went to Oregon State, but
Oregon State, Oregon, SC, Arizona State, Arizona. I had offers pretty much. Auburn. I was gonna go to Auburn, really, to be honest with you. I had offers pretty much every school in the country.
What made you decide on Oregon State? Because that's literally in the middle of nowhere.
I was going to SC, and Dennis Erickson had just got hired at Oregon State, and my coach at Cerritos College was like, he's just come from the NFL. The Seahawks had just fired him. I think that would be a good move. They're gonna throw the ball a lot. That's what he likes to do, is throw the ball a lot. And I hadn't known of Dennis Erickson, from him being at the U with Miami. And so I was like, all right, I took a trip up there, and it was probably, like 15 dudes, bro, no lie, that I played against in JUCO that was also JUCO All-Americans. And we was like, let's just come up here and dominate this shit, man. And like 10, 11 of us, we all signed with Oregon State. And obviously, we did well, beat their ass like we said we would. And quite a few of us made it to the league.
Did you guys, sorry, I'm kind of naive. Did you guys, what bowl games did you go to when you was there?
We beat Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. Beat the shit out of them. Bruh,
I thought that was it, but I was like, I didn't want to oversee.
I mean, that year, I really believe we was the best team in the country, man. We was the best team in the country.
Who'd you lose to that year?
We lost to UW. We lost to UW 34-32. Kicker missed like a 35-yard field goal last play of the game to win the game.
And that's the only game you lost?
Only game we lost. We beat Oregon when they had Joey Harrington as a quarterback. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, Detroit Lions.
We beat them. Yeah, we blew SC out. That was like our coming out party that year. SC was like ranked number 8 in the country. We were unranked. And we smashed them, beat the shit out of them. And that was kind of like, oh, Oregon State is for real. But
that was the 2000 season, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have receivers with myself and Chad. Our running back was Ken Simonson, and we had a cat named Patrick McCall that was from Carson, California, transferred from Michigan. Nick Barnett, he played at least 10 years in the league. Dwan Edwards, he played at least 10 years in the league. James Allen played a long time. My partner, Terrell Roberts, may he rest in peace. He just got shot and killed up in Richmond, California last year. He played a while in the league. I mean, we had a lot of guys on that defensive side of the ball that played a long time in the NFL.
So, but you was a 7th round pick by
Yeah,
the
they
Bengals.
Stupid. The
When,
whole
when
NFL.
was you expected to go higher?
Yeah, man. Gary, like people like this whole perception of me, man, was like I've been fast my whole life. Like everybody know where I'm from, like I'm fast. And so I get to the league and they brand me as slow. I'm like, oh, all right. I mean, we come out, I run the 40, I blaze it. I jump 38 inches my vertical. I bench 225 22 times. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm getting drafted high. And I literally thought I was going to get drafted high, but I think it was this perception of me from talking to my college coaches afterwards was the way that I acted, the way I carried myself, and the way that I played. They just thought like I was uncoachable, like I was just some gangster. That's what they used to tell my coaches. He's just too thugged out. I'm like, I just play with passion.
Because it's funny you say that because a couple years ago, I ran into you. Was that 2 years ago? The Bengals were commemorating the 50-year anniversary of the franchise, and I saw you, and we were up in the suite, and you was calling like the plays out, like kind of like Romo does when he be announcing, but you was doing it in such a thug way. He was like, hey, this motherfucker about to run an 8. Oh no, boy, stupid in the cover 2. But I was like, I wish TJ could announce the game on like pay-per-view. So when you get to Cincinnati, what'd you first think of the city?
You know, just how I grew up, man, the environment I grew up in, I knew I'd be fine. It was, being in Cincinnati was different because being older now, like the stoplights and the streets and the hoods in Cincinnati is really the hood. Like I'm from California, so our hoods, you wouldn't know it was the hood unless you knew where you were at for the most part. But when you get downtown Cincinnati, that's the hood. And so me being me, I was fine. I didn't mind it at all. I enjoyed Cincinnati, like going out. I go out by myself and go out with guys on the team, man, see the cats in the hood, the little hood dudes, say what's up to them, chill with them, all that, man. But me personally, I enjoyed Cincinnati, man. I liked it a lot.
So I just want, because this is what kills me. Now that I know a lot of athletes and been in this business a lot, people think automatically you're in the NFL, you're set for life financially. So here you are, 7th round pick. You know what I mean? Nothing's guaranteed. When you get to Cincinnati, does the team put you at an apartment or a hotel, or is that on you? So
this how it works. This how it's gonna work for all the rookies now. Nothing has changed. Normally, next weekend would be the rookie mini camp, but because of what's going on with the coronavirus, obviously that's not the case. Take away this year. You get drafted yesterday, today, tomorrow. The following weekend or 2 weekends after the draft, you would have a rookie mini camp. You come in, they put you in a hotel. They have a shuttle pick all the players up, take you to the facility, take you back, so forth and so on. You come back for training camp. Now you stay in that hotel the entire off season.
Is it a nice hotel?
It's it used to be the Courtyard Marriott in Covington.
They give you your own room though? You don't have a roommate, do you?
No, you have a roommate. Yeah, you have a roommate.
Damn.
So it was cool though. Me and Chad was roommates, so it wasn't a problem.
Oh, you had a hotel?
There was
no girls coming in there with Chad?
Yeah, no. You know Chad. You know Chad.
Hey, TJ, can I get the room for like 3 hours real quick?
Bruh. You be like, God damn, Chad again? Yeah. Anybody that knows Chad, exactly. Yeah.
Yo, when I lived in Cincy, if I had my Tuesday nights, I used to do a Tuesday night comedy spot, and all the players would be there. And that's really where I got to know you guys, honestly. But anytime I saw a girl, I'd be like, hey, is Chad coming? I go, bruh. Why? Oh, we friends. I was like, okay.
Hey, Chad is one of a kind, man. Like, that's one thing that anybody that know, if you know Chad, you talk like that, you like, you know Chad. When it comes to the women, it ain't nobody like him, bro. At least I haven't seen him.
I'm not even mad at him. To be early 20s, decent looking dude, you're kind of the face of the franchise for a couple of years. Hey,
he enjoyed himself. Let's say that.
Right.
So yeah, they'll put you in a hotel. They pay for it. You come back for training camp. Obviously, we all stay in a hotel. Back then, we were going to Georgetown, Kentucky. Now, once training camp is over, you're on your own. They'll have people come in and realtors and look for a house or an apartment or whatever it may be. But in the off season, the team pays for everything, and they get you to and from. But once training camp is over, you on your own. But for the most, if you smart, man, and you play 8 years and you make decent money, you should be straight, man. If you're not out there blowing your money, you should be good.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think a lot of guys, not a lot of people come from that kind of money, NFL money. And then the thing I would think is people ain't taking into account the IRS and taxes. And that's why now when I see guys signing for money, I'm always like, okay, he signed for 10 years, $100 million. I'd be like, but 35 is guaranteed. I go, so he signed for $35 million. He has to earn another 65 because they can cut you quick.
If you're smart, what I did was I tried to live my first 3 years like I was getting cut every year. And so my first year, this is what I did in Cincinnati. It's the hood nigga in me. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
Are you good?
I lived in a hotel. Hotel.
About to get offended, TJ? What'd you say on my show?
I lived in a hotel my rookie year for free. I stayed on the Marriott. You know the one in Covington by the water, Bill Street Cafe used to be right across from it?
Yeah.
So I lived in that for free my entire rookie season. I didn't pay $1. I gave them 2 game tickets. They let me live for free.
Exactly.
And so I stayed in there for free. Came back the next year, got an apartment. My second year ended. I'm telling my business. Hopefully somebody listens to this and learn that's playing. My second year was over. Granted, I made league minimum my first 2 years. I had like 180 grand in the bank after my second year. And I probably only made like 500. And that's before taxes. Mm-hmm. And I went and bought a house in Chino Hills. It was the first house I bought. And sold it 2 years later, paid $400 for it, sold it 2 years later for $880. Mm-hmm. And so you just got to be smart, man. Just these dudes, man, they want to live great for 10 years, man. I'd rather live good my entire life. And that's what I tell, like the guys I train them physically, but I try to get them advice, man, so that this money you make now, it lasts you, man. Like I'm set for the rest of my life. My kids is fine. And I made good money, but I ain't got to be out here stunting and showing off that I got this and that. As long as I know if I can't get a job, I'm still good.
Right. Now, how does it work? I'm curious about this. When guys get traded, sometimes they get traded mid-season. Sometimes you get cut in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
How does that work? Does a team just like, all right, you're not on the team anymore, appreciate it, and you got to get yourself home? Or if you get traded mid-season, if you have a house, let's say you're in Cincinnati, and for some reason, mid-season, they trade you to Dallas. Are they expecting you to still make the house payments on Cincinnati and sell that yourself, or do they help you?
No, you're on your own. Okay, prime example. I experienced this. So when I left the Bengals and I go to Seattle, it's final cuts is on a Saturday. I didn't get cut by the Seahawks. That Monday, because Pete Carroll was a dickhead, they released me on a Monday. It was my kids and my wife were coming out there on Tuesday because school started the following Monday. I get cut. It's like, oh, you guys can't come. Stay home in California. Go enroll them in school there. And this was a kicker, though. They were going to a private school. Tuition was $22,000 each kid. So that's
2 kids,
44. Right? Yeah. So that's 44 grand. Gee, they didn't give me my money back.
The school didn't?
The school didn't give me my money back. Man, when I tell you, if I didn't leave to go to Baltimore the next day, I would have tore that school up. Like, I was calling them, cursing them out. Like, I was pissed off about that. Give me my $44,000. Like,
Yeah, let's give the school a shout out. What's it called?
It's in I don't remember the name of the school. It was in Bellevue, Washington, but my daughter was in the class with one of Bill Gates' kids, and they had security sit outside the classroom in the hallway, and they had a security guard outside by the window sitting there every day. Like, you could not even walk in, like, straight security. So I knew that classroom was always secure.
Wow. Because it was Bill Gates' kid.
Yeah. Bellevue, Washington. And so
once they give you your money back.
No, they 44 grand, bro. Wouldn't give me my money back. It was non-refundable. I'm like, so
did they go there?
Fill these 2 spots?
And they weren't there one day. They never walked in the classroom?
No, but they had gone to school there the previous season, my first year in Seattle. They went to school there. And so I just assumed, so I paid tuition up front. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So once that happened, literally, I got released on Monday. I was in Baltimore Wednesday morning. Baltimore flew me out. I had my house in Seattle, fully furnished, had paid the rent. And it's just, my cars were there. I had somebody that was working for me at the time. They flew from their home to Seattle, packed all my stuff, sent it to California, the stuff I needed, sent it to Baltimore. And yeah, pretty much that's how it works. But if financially I had the means to do that, if you don't have the means to do that, you in trouble.
So if a team like just cuts you and another team picks you up, or if they don't pick you up, what happens then?
If you don't get picked up, they're gonna ask you where you want to go. And you want to go, you're in Cincinnati. I'm from Detroit. Okay, they'll fly you into Detroit. I'm from LA, they'll fly you in LA. If you get picked up, that team will call you. And if you're in Cincinnati and you get picked up by the Rams, they'll just fly you straight to LA right away. And if you have a car, you have a house full of furniture, they'll say, okay, don't worry about it. They'll hire, but out your pocket, but they'll find a moving company to get everything moved out and shipped to LA or wherever you want it.
Oh, see, I'm going to tell them.
They do a good job, man. They do a good job of helping you out with stuff like that. What you need? You need some help?
Well, nah, I'm saying if I'm on a team and I get cut and nobody picks me up and be like, yeah, I was on my way to Prague. I'm getting a one-way ticket to Rome, homie.
Hey, you get a free vacation, huh?
Watch. Did they fly you coach or first?
Nah, it depends on the team.
Oh, no. I was going to say, on the team. The Bengals going to be coach? Oh, you got to tell me the Bengals.
It depends on it. Like certain teams, man, like when I was a free agent, man, you go to Seattle and I went to Minnesota, and they're picking me up in private jets, bro. They're like, it just really depends on the team.
It's no secret. I have a very it's not a love-hate relationship with the Bengals front office. It's it's a frustration. I feel like Ike and Tina Turner. Like, I'm Tina, and they just beat me up. And, I went on a rant last year it was shocking to me because my publicist called and said, Gary's in town, he would like to come to a game. And the Bengals said no, and there was literally like 8,000 empty seats at the stadium. And they sent this long email explaining why they could not leave me tickets with revenue sharing and everything else. And I went, I do this all the time with other cities. And it's like every athlete, especially NFL players, they all know I'm a Bengals fan. Everybody knows. I mean, to the point where when Reggie Wayne left the Colts, I was like calling him like, yo, why don't you come to Cincy? Just come on, bro. I try to get Andre Johnson to Cincy. Like, I'm the guy trying to get people there. And the front office treats me like I am like I did something to him. And it's like, even this week, I saw Mike Epps, the Colts sent him like this draft package, like a draft hat and shirt. And Steve Harvey, the Browns, sent him like the new jerseys and stuff. I'm like,
Bengals ain't send you nothing?
Man, let me tell you my love. Let me tell you my frustration with them. They still ask me to do stuff. Like a couple of years ago, Marvin's secretaries were roasting Marvin Lewis. And they called me and said, can you help us write jokes for the roast? And I said, yeah. So I met with them a couple times, and I just figured now I'm in. I got my ends. The secretary's been there for like 35 years, one of them. And the
Which
other
was
one,
it, Jamie Jeanette or Sandy Schick?
Sandy. And
Okay.
but the other one, the younger one, came and said hello to you at that game I saw with Chad.
Yeah, Jamie. That's
we were in the
Jamie.
suite. Jamie. So I called Jamie for tickets to that game, and she said, long story short, she said no. And then basically there wasn't any tickets left available. And then I got my ways, so I got to the game. And then I saw you guys on the sidelines before the game. And you got to come up to the suite, man, sit with us. All right. So I was literally, I don't know where my tickets was that game. So I'm in the suite with you, and her face dropped. You didn't see it. When she came to say hello,
Oh,
her
wow.
face
I wish
went.
you had said something to me. I wish you had said something to me. I would have put her on blast because she my homie.
Yeah, I thought she was cool. I'm not saying she's a bad person, but I was like, really? I was like, and
Has
then
nothing to do with her.
right. She goes, well, we don't have anything available for this game, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right. So anyways, her face dropped, though, because when she saw me, I was like, somehow there was an extra ticket. And then what made it worse is when other teams, they know I'm a diehard fan. Literally other teams, like front office
want
people,
you.
will call me.
Come
Like
with us.
Seattle, oh, my God. They got a suite. Seattle Seahawks have a suite just for celebs and ex-players to hang out. So I've been to 2 Seahawks games. They treated me like I was Chris Pratt. Like I was the diehard Seahawks fan. I was like, why is this happening? Atlanta took great care of me. I don't even want to get into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been trying to get me to cross over for years. The Steelers take such good care of me in Pittsburgh.
I don't know why. Honestly, man, I don't know why the Bengals do that, man. But it's a family-run business. But so is the Steelers. So is Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they do that, man. I don't even think they mean any harm. I don't think they know any better, man. And like eventually things are going to change, but it should be sooner than later. Like if you a guy that's out there, Bengals this, Bengals that, they should be calling you. Hey, do you need tickets to this weekend's game? No, I'm not in town. Like they should be calling you. So I don't get it. But now, I mean, now you gotta call Joe Mixon or you gotta call Ross or whomever it may be. Kilpatrick, he not there anymore. You gotta call guys. Hey,
Yeah,
can
but
I get tickets? And it shouldn't
But I
be
feel
that.
But I know how it works with the players. I'm not stupid. I know how the front office works. And I know how it works with the players for tickets. And I know you guys a lot of times are coming out of pocket for tickets, and you don't get like an endless amount of tickets like some people think. So I'm always like, I don't try to bother the players too much. So I was like, that's why I started, because I felt like I kept calling players and I was spacing them out. Like I'd call Dunlop for one game and then like Joe for one game. Like I'd space them out. I go, this is stupid. I got a publicist. I pay a publicist. The NFL Network calls me. ESPN calls me. Fox Sports call me to talk Bengals. I've never been asked to go on any sports talk if it wasn't Bengal talk. Nobody's ever asked me, hey, Gary, let's get your thoughts on LeBron or let's get your thoughts on Kawhi. It's always the Bengals, good and bad if they're not doing good. And then, so it just I don't know. It's frustrating to me because I'm like, guys, I'm your guy.
If I'm in your situation, the good thing about it, though, is social media. You can put their ass on blast right away. You should be frustrated. Like, come on, man. Get a man some tickets. Like, Tuesday night, when I was playing, we used to look forward to Tuesday night. Like, we get to go down to the comedy show in Newport on the Levee, have some fun. Like, you brought stuff to Cincinnati that we enjoyed that kind of was a getaway for us. I'm like, I don't understand
People don't
that,
realize.
man.
People don't know what you're talking about. When I was in Cincy, when TJ was there, from like 2004 to 2007, I had the hottest Tuesday night spot damn near in the country. Because comedian, we had Lil Rel on last week, and he even said, "Yo, your Tuesday night room was something else for like a 3-year run."
Man.
And what happened was, I moved back to Cincinnati, and I realized there's nothing to do here during the week, really. So I was like, and I literally, this is how this is why I picked Tuesday. I'm working on the weekends. I wasn't going to do that. And comedy clubs, they bring people on the weekends. So it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I went down to Funny Bone and nothing was going on. And I knew the players' day off was Tuesday. And I was like, yo, if the Bengals come, then the hoes come. If the hoes come, then more dudes come. It was all in my brain, like, all right, so let me go for the top dog. So I knew Ruben Patterson, who used to play in the NBA for a long time, and I knew he knew Chad. So my first weekend out, I said, Ruben, come out, bring Chad out, and then Chad just kept coming every week, right? And then all the players start coming. And then remember Dwayne Clemens?
Yeah.
Once he started coming, he was the party guy. Yeah. Once he started coming, he started bringing all the young boys out. And then all of a sudden, it looked like a Bengals game, the line.
It was a whole team. Yeah.
Yeah. And just the fans. Everybody had their Bengals shit on. It was, man, that was my favorite year probably. Over 2015 was that 2005 season. That was my favorite year. And you guys had the squad, that team. God
Carson don't get hurt, we win a Super Bowl, man.
Man,
he don't
team.
get hurt, we win we talk about that, man. Me and Carson was together at the Super Bowl talking about, like, God, if this dude don't get hurt, we gonna win a Super Bowl. And you never know what happens moving forward, how the fortunes of the franchise. You don't know.
Because you guys, normally the Steelers, and especially lately, they just got the Bengals number. I don't know if they're in their head or what. But you guys, when you went up to Pittsburgh and beat them that game, and that's when you took the towel and rubbed it on your shoe. And you guys, we was talking so much shit to Steeler fans. Oh, my God. Here's a funny story about that game. I almost got my ass kicked at that Steeler game because
I was talking too much shit.
Here's the thing. I'm careful, though. If I go to a game, I root for my team. I'm not going to put down the other team at a road game, right? So I'm just rooting for the Bengals. I'm not saying the Steelers suck. I'm not saying whatever. when you guys do something good, I'm yelling, I'm screaming. And who was the guy from UCLA that ran the kickoff or pump back that game?
Tab Perry.
Tab Perry. When Tab Perry ran that day, I don't know if it was a punt or a kickoff. When he ran it back for a touchdown, I'm going fucking nuts, right? I got my one buddy with me. There's two guys in Bengals.
I was returning punts. Yeah.
Oh, the kickoff? There was two guys in bingo gear. Me and my boy. We're surrounded by Steeler fans, and I'm on my chair. Yes!
They about to pack y'all out.
TJ, this dude literally looked at me and was like, hey, you stand up one more time, we're going to have some problems. And literally I looked back, and I got this short haircut, right? I said, hey, man, I just got back from Iraq. I can't help they're playing here. I just wanted to go to a game. The guy with the same anger went, I'm sorry.
Okay.
My boy was like, yo, where'd you come up with that? I go, shit, we ain't going to get our ass kicked now. They like me now. All of a sudden, I'm getting those Iron Horse or whatever beers in Pittsburgh passed to me.
Yeah,
appreciate you, man. Clapping for me. I got out of that shit situation. But it was funny because the dude with the same passion yelled, I'm sorry. We stand up one more time. We're going to have some problems. Blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. But that game, that squad, Jesus Christ.
That sucks, man. We had the team. But if you go back to that game, though, man, it was Carson gets hurt the first play of the game. First play of the game, whole game plan was we going to hit him in the mouth early. First play of the game, bomb to Chris Henry. Rest in peace, Slim.
Yeah.
Carson gets hurt. We're still winning at halftime, bro. I think it's 17-7, 17. We're still winning the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then halftime came and halftime Chad went off, and it's the beginning of the end.
Yeah. And it's still, and with Carson getting hurt, even if you win that game against the Steelers, it's a lot tougher to get to the Super Bowl without
tough.
Carson.
It's tough.
But I was just like, man, that game broke my heart. It was funny because it's always the Steelers with us. And that's why I ask with Joe Burrow, and I always appreciate your opinion because it seems like you're like a Nostradamus. Because remember I ran into you at the airport before the 2015 season, and I was talking to you. I had my little Asian buddy with me, and you was telling me, you was like, yo, G, they got a squad. And the first thing you said was, they stay healthy, they got some athletes. And I remember I was on the flight with my buddy, and I'm going, did you fucking hear what he said? And then that 2015 team, same thing. Andy gets hurt. I went, God, against the Steelers. And then the Steelers beat us in the playoffs. And I went,
Yeah.
I said, and people forget that the Steelers weren't supposed to be in the playoffs that year. It was supposed to be the Jets. And the Jets lost to the Bills the last week.
Yes.
And then that's how the Steelers got in. And as soon as I saw the Steelers in the playoffs, I went, we're done. And everybody's like, why? I go, because they're going to beat each other up. I said, if the Bengals beat the Steelers, somebody getting hurt and vice versa. I said, I hadn't seen hate like that between two teams like that. That 2015 team.
It's setting up right now. Ben is going to play a maximum of 1 to 2 years. I'll go out on a limb and say Joe Burrow will win a playoff game on his rookie contract for sure. If AJ can stay healthy, and they can draft a lineman today with this second pick, draft the best available offensive lineman. You got AJ, you got Tyler Boyd, you got Ross, you got CJ Uzomah, you got Joe Mixon. You go across the entire NFL. You tell me who got skill players like that. You tell me.
Right.
Nobody has that. Nobody has that. And then you look at who they acquired in free agency. And you still got Geno. You still got Dunlap. You got Jesse Bates. They signed a safety from the Saints. The Bengals have a team right now. And Jonah Williams come back. First round pick last year that didn't play. So if they draft a lineman today that can help them this year, they're going to be very competitive this year. And then next year and moving forward, with Joe getting more comfortable, man, only problem is after this year, AJ will be a free agent. Ross will technically be a free agent depending on what they do. You have to keep weapons around Joe. You kind of have to do it like they did with Carson, with me and Chad. You got to have two receivers that he can throw the ball to, and that's going to get open. If they can do that, fortunes are going to turn, man. Like, I'm going to go out on a limb and say Joe will be that quarterback to win a playoff game on his rookie deal.
I hope, man. I hope you're right. Oh, you said okay, wait a minute. You said his rookie deal. I thought you meant his rookie year.
Now.
He's about the first 4 years.
Yeah, the first 4 years. Now, if things go, like, you got to look at the division, man. That's the thing about the Bengals. You got to play Baltimore twice. They're going to be good. Pittsburgh is always going to be good. And then Cleveland might have more talent than the Steelers and the Ravens. And you got to play them twice. And so that division is not easy. It's the hardest, it's the toughest division in football. By far, the toughest division in football is the AFC North. And so it's not, if they can get through that, oh man, it's going to be a sight to see. But
yeah, you ain't lying.
It is.
I'll be calling,
man.
TJ,
Joe,
yo, can I get tickets? No.
You gonna make me call up. It's crazy because all the people that I used to know, they not there anymore either.
Yeah.
They're all gone, all of them.
It's funny because if I, like you said, blast them on social media, if I bring it up, you got those fans that are like, just buy tickets, you prima donna, like everybody else. I said, you don't understand. Any city you go to, if you go to Seattle, they got a different person raising that 12th man flag every game. You got to Pittsburgh, they got the cameras on whatever actor or actress or singer that reps Pittsburgh twirling that terrible towel. You go to Atlanta, you got every black rapper on the planet at the game. I mean, you celebrate those people that rep you. You go to Cleveland.
Life ain't fair, man. Like
you ain't lying. You're lying.
Life ain't fair.
Life's
Regular
good.
fans,
Look,
I'm sorry. Life's not fair. Sorry. Like, I'm Gary Owen. They should
walk
give
around the
me
stadium
tickets.
with me.
Sorry.
That's funny. Hold on, TJ. When I do get field passes in on sidelines, see how many autographs and pictures I take. Like this. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just frustrating, man. It's whatever.
They gotta hook you up, man. I'm gonna connect you with Joe. Hopefully he can put that word in with you, man.
Yeah, the thing I like about Burrow, man, is he's just like an Ohio kid. He didn't go to like a Moeller or St. X, some powerhouse. He went to some small school in Athens, Ohio, and he reps Ohio. God dang, I love that. Anybody reps Ohio is good with me. You know what I mean?
Joe, think about this, though. Ohio State technically had the first 3 guys drafted. Ain't that crazy, man?
Crazy.
Joe Burrow, Chase Young, Jeffrey Okudah, all guys that were at Ohio State. But that's another story. But, man, Joe is going to be – he going to be special, man. Like, he doesn't have the physical attribute. Like, he doesn't have the big arm, but he's a really good athlete. He has a good arm, but he has the brain and the mentality. That right there. Mm-hmm. His Valentine is not pumping Kool-Aid. And that's the biggest thing that he has. You can't teach what he has, and he gonna turn it around. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I hope. He's a coach's son. He's wired for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he built for this. Yeah, he's built for this. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, yeah. Get me on a group text with Joe.
No lie.
That's my dude.
As soon as we hang up the phone, I'm gonna say, Joe Burrow, this is Gary Owen. Y'all meet each other. Bing, just like that.
Yeah, and then say, Joe, Google me. If you don't know who I am, bro, Google, homie, Google. No, I'm just kidding.
He knows.
Yeah. All right, man. I don't want to hold you up too much. I know you got Fox Sports 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You everywhere. Oh, your daughter's at LSU, right?
Yeah, my second daughter will head up there this fall. She'll be a freshman. My oldest one is there now.
She's playing softball?
Yeah.
And is your other daughter going to play softball, or is she just going?
Nah, she's going to play softball. My second daughter,
Dang.
We take it in the football ranking. She's the number 15th recruit in the country.
For real?
Yeah, she's the number 2 shortstop in America.
DNA, man. Athletes breed athletes. Man, my kids are funny. All right, man. Listen, I want to hold you up, man. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. And, it's always good to catch up, man. I'll see you next time I'm in L.A.
Hey, G, love always, man. Appreciate you, brother.